Hello, Profit Hackers. I'm Jeremy Lott, the Chief Visionary for Foundation Accounting and Consulting. I owned a construction company for about 15 years before making a change to accounting because my accountants sucked. My goals are to simplify accounting for construction company owners, fuel your profits, level up your cash flow, and help you grow in a financially responsible way. So let's go. Hello, Profit Hackers, and welcome back to the Contractors Profit Hack Show. And today, I am coming back from taking a few weeks break. As some of you know, I had a major ankle surgery about 3 months ago, back in April, and wasn't able to drive for about 3 months. And so that made things a little bit complicated. But now I'm past that and back driving and doing physical therapy, and it's healing up great. But thanks for all the support on that, and all the friends and family that helped me get around places. I really appreciate that. It's been very humbling to see how willing so many people are to drop everything and help out. Today, I'd like to share a text that I received recently from one of my clients. We do bookkeeping and the coaching program with them, the consulting on cash flow. And in the program, we have 3 phases that we focus on. The first we call fueling the profit. And what that comes down to is making the money, right? We go through and make sure that our contractors are profitable on every single job. So there is a known profit ahead of time, right? And so that's step number 1. You have to be making the money before you can go into phase 2, which is building cash flow. And that's basically about keeping the money, right? It's wonderful to have a high revenue or a solid profit on your profit and loss. But as we've discussed in previous episodes, that doesn't always translate directly to a solid bank account. And so we want to make sure that we are covering both, that we have a healthy profit, which is phase number 1, and then we're able to keep that profit. Once we're able to actually keep that profit, then we want to jump into phase 3, which is scale without going broke. And phase number 3 is where we take the profit and the cash that you are starting to accumulate, and we use it to help grow your business and to help create more cash flow for you over the long run, right? And so those are the 3 phases that we go through. And with this particular customer, we went through and we finished phase 1 and showed them a way to be profitable on every job. And then we've gone most of the way through phase 2. Partway through phase 2, I received the following text message from them. It says, "Hey, Jeremy, not to be overly dramatic, but we've got about 10 days before we are out of money. Obviously, some money could come in, and we've always found a way to survive, but it has definitely been getting worse and worse. When we meet with you, I never really feel that our situation is that bad. In fact, our last quarterly meeting, you made it sound like we were doing okay, but we really aren't. I know we are meeting on Friday to do the consulting stuff and a bookkeeping review. Before the meetings, do you mind pouring into the books and figuring out why we have no money? I feel like we've done a pretty good job of implementing what you've been teaching us. Some of the bill pay strategy we've only been doing for the last few weeks, so it probably hasn't had a huge impact. But we must be missing something. On paper, it always sounds like our margin's okay, but we're missing paychecks. And if we take paychecks, the business runs out of money. Does that sound familiar to anyone else out there? Right? You're showing a healthy profit on your profit and loss, but you have no cash. You're not paying yourself. And oftentimes you have to take money out of your own personal bank account and put it back in the business. And we all know that once you put that money into the business, you're never going to see that again. It's never coming back to you, right? I was there. That's how I ran my business. And I understand 100% what this person is talking about here. I did dive into the books and I took a look. And guess what I found? I found that they do have a healthy profit. They've done a great job implementing phase one. But they're doing some things that really cripple their cash flow. Number one, as soon as they get paid, they go through and they pay all of their bills as much as they possibly can. They pay off their credit card completely. They pay off their accounts as far as they can. And they pay all their subs immediately, right? Regardless of the job. So they have no cash left over. So really, it's no wonder that they're struggling so much. They're not being stingy with their cash, right? The principle that we need to stick to here is that we pay when we're paid. And we've covered this extensively in previous episodes, but I just want to review for a second what this is and what it means. It means that you finish the Smith job and the Smiths pay you for their job. Well, now you take that money from the Smith job and you look at the receipts for the Smith job. And you look at the bills still outstanding for the Smith job. You use that money to pay for the Smith job, right? If the Greens haven't paid you yet, or the Browns, or whoever else, you're not going to use that money to pay their account or to pay for their receipts, right? You're not going to do that. You can't do that. They haven't paid you. You haven't received the money for those bills. And this was the biggest reason that they're struggling. Well, we had a conversation about it. And in the conversation, we went over these principles again. And we went over the importance of paying yourself first. And they recommitted to following these principles. And within 3 weeks, when I met with them, they had completely turned around their cash position. They had started paying themselves again what they wanted to be paid, and they had money in the account, and they were having to pay interest on some credit card things, right? And they had to keep good conversations open with their vendors so that they could make sure that the vendors understand where they're at and which jobs have and have not paid, and to make sure that everybody, both my client and their vendors and their subs, are all maintaining their mechanics lien rights so that in the event of them not paying at all, they can exercise those rights and make sure that they have an avenue to get paid, right? So it only took about 2 to 3 weeks for this whole thing to completely turn around, for them to feel like they finally are on top of things and they have money in their account, right? And the most exciting thing in the world to me was to pull up their account and look through their QuickBooks file and learn that they had been paying themselves. That is the coolest thing in the world. For a client to go from absolutely broke and not paying themselves and ready to quit and just fold the company to having cash in the bank, paying their bills as they receive payments, and being able to pay themselves. That is the coolest thing. I absolutely love it. And now it's been a few weeks, even more, about a month now. Let's see. About 2 months. It's been about 2 months now. And it's a whole different company. It's a completely different outlook on things. And so proud of them. They're the ones that have put in the work. They are the heroes of their story, right? They've just taken the weapons and the tools that I've taught them, and they've used them to the fullest so that they can be profitable and the hero of their story. And so I just want everyone out there that's listening to know and understand that this is not magic. It ain't magic, right? It's simply a process. And if you follow the process, you'll be profitable and you'll have money in the bank account. And perhaps even most important, you pay yourself, right? When you're flying in an airplane, right before you go to take off, the flight attendants stand up and they go through the rules and procedures and safety and all that with you, right? And they tell you that if the cabin loses pressure, that these oxygen masks will drop from the ceiling. And then what do they tell you next? They say, put your oxygen mask on yourself first. Then help other people around you that might not be able to, whether they're kids, whether they're elderly, whether they're disabled in some way, right? Help them after you take care of yourself, right? It's the exact same with business. You got to pay yourself first. If you're not paying yourself first, the business dies. That's the quickest way to kill your business. Okay? So I hope that you embrace these principles and listen to the previous episodes about how to control your cash flow so that you too can have a healthy, thriving business with profit and money in the bank, and you're paying yourself. So this is Jeremy with Foundation Accounting and Consulting, and I've really enjoyed having this quick conversation with you today, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks for listening. If you found this episode helpful, please like and subscribe for weekly episodes to help you fuel your profit, level up your cash flow, and finance your growth. Until next time, go enjoy some green M&Ms and protect that cash.